Hi, it's Kyle from Bitewing Games, and today we're learning how to play Orbit, designed by Reiner Knizia and published by us here at Bitewing Games. It has wonderful artwork and graphic design by Vincent Dutray and Bridget Indelicato. In Orbit, you're tourists, racing to visit each of the planets. You can hop on planets and move with them, you can hyperjump through portals, but can you visit all of the planets before anyone else? The point of the game is to win, and you win by visiting each of the planets and then returning to your home planet. To move your ship between planets, you will play cards, giving a certain amount of movement. But these cards will also let you collect energy for bonus movement, advance planets along their orbits, and even reverse the orbital path of the planets. Can you feel the power?
Oh, I can feel it.
Let's look at the setup. The board is double-sided. The side with the double arrows on the outside is a little trickier, so I recommend this side of the board for your first play. The board shows 8 colored orbits and planet symbols for the 8 colored planets. Place the 8 planets randomly onto one of the matching colored planet symbols, trying to somewhat spread them evenly across the board. Place the space stations into the fabric bag, give it a little shaky shake, and place one space station onto the indicated space station spaces. Place the energy cubes within reach of all players, shuffle the cards, and deal a hand of 3 to each player, placing the remaining cards near the board as a draw pile. The player who is most recently a tourist will be the first player, and going in reverse turn order, so starting with the player to the right of the start player, and going counterclockwise, players will choose a color, taking the player board and spaceship of that color. Place your spaceship on the matching colored planet, and place mission markers on each of the colored spaces on your board. You won't have one for your own color. The white planet is technically for a prism variant, but we might as well just teach you how to play with it. Remove a random space station token and replace it with the white prism. This is basically a stationary planet. It won't move like the other planets, but you still need to visit it. Before we jump into the gameplay, let's look at our player board. Remember, we want to visit each planet. Well, this is how you'll track that. Once you have visited a planet, you'll remove that token. This shows your hand size. Throughout the game, you can place tokens here to increase your hand size. And this shows how many energy cubes you can hold. Just like the hand limit, this can be increased throughout the game, and this is where you'll store your energy cubes. Alright, so what do we actually do on our turn? You're simply going to play one card from your hand, taking the actions in any order you want to. You'll discard that card, and then you'll draw back up to your hand limit. So let's look at what the cards do. This shows that planets will advance. You must advance the indicated planets along their paths to the next planet symbol. The planets will show which direction they travel. Spaceships on the planet move with the planet. If the planet lands on a spaceship, the spaceship is stacked on top of the planet. Some cards will have you move a planet multiple spaces, so in this case I'd move the green planet 2 spaces. The planet does not stop on spaces it passes, so in this case the spaceship is not picked up. Some cards show that all the planets move, and some planets have a wild symbol, meaning you choose one planet to move. This is the purple planet. This is not the purple planet. This is a nebula symbol, which is used for an expansion. So for your first game, or if you don't have the expansion, ignore the nebulas. In short, they let you place tokens. Planets will skip over these locations, so you can manipulate the speed at which planets orbit. But like I said, maybe just ignore for your first play. There are a few symbols you may see at the top center of the card. This symbol lets you reorient one planet, changing its direction of orbit. This symbol lets you take energy cubes. Here you'll take 1 energy cube, here you'll take 3 energy cubes, and here you'll take energy up to your energy capacity. But you can never have more cubes than your max capacity. So if your capacity is 2, even after playing this card, you'll just take 1 cube. If your capacity is 5 and you play this card, you can take 4 cubes, so you'll end up with 5 total cubes. Finally, the big number here is how many spaces your spaceship can fly. While planets move long distances along their orbits, your spaceship will move in smaller increments along these lines. So if I played this card, I could move up to 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2. You don't have to take the actions, and you don't have to move the full number of movement points you have, but you do have to move the planets, the number of spaces shown. With the energy cubes, you can use them to move one additional space. So one cube will move you one additional space. So after moving 3 spaces here, I could spend 1 energy cube to move an additional space. There's no limit to the number of energy cubes you could use on a turn, but there are a few clarifications. You can choose which order to use the actions on your card, but you have to complete one step completely and then move on to another. So you can gain energy and then move, or move and then gain energy. But you can't move and use energy, then gain energy, and then use that energy to continue moving. That's called cheating. If you land on another player's spaceship, just stack the spaceships. Spaceships on planets will all move when the planet moves. But if you're stacked on another spaceship when that spaceship moves, you don't move with it, your piece just stays where it is. If you end your movement on a planet, you have visited that planet and get to remove that planet marker. But you do have to end your movement there. You can't, on your turn, just cross over a planet and then cross over another planet. You have to actually end your movement to count it. And each of the planet markers can do something a little bit special, so let's look at those planet markers. This planet marker lets you increase your hand size limit. So after visiting the planet, place the token here, and your hand size is now 4. Visiting this planet will increase your energy capacity. The next 2 are a little crazy. This is a hyper accelerator cannon. If you end your turn on this planet, remove this token. You can immediately move as far as you want in a straight line, shooting across the board. And this is optional, you don't have to use it. If you look at the board, you'll see some of these lightning hyperjump locations. These hyperjump portals are teleporters. If you end your turn on a hyperjump portal, you can instantly move to another hyperjump portal. You can't jump at the first of your turn. So if you end your turn on that spot, immediately move to any other hyperjump portal, and then on your next turn, you'll start in that location and move from there. So when you end your turn on this planet, you remove the token and you can immediately jump to any hyperjump location. That can also include a space station. Remember we set up these space stations at the first of the game? The space stations have a symbol on them. If you end your movement on a space station, you get the effect. This one is a hyperjump, so you can jump to or from this location. This is a hyper acceleration cannon, just like the special action on the brown planet. If you end your movement here, you can immediately move in a straight line as far as you'd like. This is a fuel depot. If you land on this space station, you'll take energy cubes till you've reached your capacity. These space stations all have a darker border and remain on the board. The other 2 types of space stations have a lighter background and will be removed from the board. If you land here, take the token. This will increase your hand size by 1, and this will increase your energy capacity. Once you've removed all the planets, it's a race back to your homeworld. The first person to visit all the planets and then make it back home wins the game. There's a few little modules or variations and ways to play, but we're not going to go over that today. But if you do have any questions about Orbit, let me know in the comments below. Until next time. Space station places. Space station spaces.